Moana 2. Is it any good? I'm going to discuss whether Moana 2 is as good as people say or as bad as people say. Some very mixed reviews going on here, and I just watched it for the very first time the other day, so I've had some time to digest it, digest my thoughts, and now I can share my opinion. I'd love you to check out my full reaction. It is up on my channel now, the first and second movie. I love you guys to see it. I hope you enjoy watching it with me. This is about to be some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, click off. This is not the video for you. I'm going to quickly recap the plot and just discuss what we saw during the film. So as the film starts, we see Moana hunting for other chances of life. She's scouting the areas, trying to see what life she can find, whether she can find other villages, and that's what she's hoping to find with her buddies, her two pals, the chicken and the pig that we know and love, Hey and Boa. She does come across a trinket, and she takes it back to her village and hopefully gets some answers, so she shares it with them so they can discuss it together. Another mission is set. The world is being cut off, so she needs to destroy the enemy before all of life is taken, rejoining the path that lines the islands together by taking down the big crazy storm. She takes a gang of sailors with her. Well, they're a clumsy bunch, but they do try their hardest. The lady, she was stressing me out. They get told to follow a fire that's burning in the sky. This will lead them to where their path lies. They're then captured by the coconuts once again, but this time they just want to go home. Their island has also been cut off by this horrific storm lurking very, very close by. A beastly clam sits in the way, so they try and take it down, but they get swallowed alive. To their surprise, they find Maui, who's been captured as well, which still remains a bit of a question mark for me. Moana, however, has been separated and comes across a potential villain. She discovers a new way of thinking, to get lost and think outside the box, get out of her comfort zone, which does change the game. Is this woman a villain? Is she a hero? Is she selfish? These are the questions I have and want answers to, so if you know or have your thoughts, let me know as well. They take on the storm and the twisters and eventually defeat it. And is that the end? Who knows? It is left very, very open. I can see another movie down the line for sure, because we have so many questions to how it ended. It's very unclear. Are the villains really defeated, or are they still lurking? These are my thoughts. Let's start with her sister. She needs to take a moment to appreciate Suma. She's so innocent, she's sweet. She just gives us the real joy and hope that we know and love about these movies. Moana 1 was so innocent and so sweet. And this sister character, she really brought the essence of that back. She honed into that positive energy, the innocence of exploring this beautiful island for the very first time. She got shown the sea, the way of the water, and they were able to communicate through the sea, so that kept their relationship blossoming throughout the movie. She was the real focal point of this family in this movie. She was the centre. She brought them all together, and they just had so much love together as a complete family. And Moana wanted to protect her at all costs. You can see that throughout the whole journey of the film. She was always on her mind. Every step of the way, she had her sister with her in her necklace. This leads to the dad and mother. They were so happy. It was beautiful to see them at peace, and they had trust and faith in Moana to do the right thing and save everyone and look after them all as the leader. Nicole Scherzinger plays the mother. Since when? Where did that come from? No one told me this. What? I was blown away when I found this out. That's incredible. Of course, we have the beautiful chicken and pig come along for the whole journey. The chicken is just an angel sent from above. That chicken is so beautiful, so innocent, so silly. It just adds such a beautiful comedic element.
We even got our own pillow. Oh, his name is Bua.
And the large pig. Hello? The Moana bees. They have their own pig now. So who does Moana take on this crazy journey with her? The crew. We have the beautiful fisherman, the old bloke, the old man. He is scared of the ocean. He wants to be around land. He hates it. He has such an element of wisdom and guidance around this journey. We cannot go without mentioning the fangirl. He is a Maui wannabe himself. We have the Moana bees and we now have the Maui bees. Crazy. He is so fun and energetic and so excited throughout, and it just really uplifts the whole group. He is a centre point. He just looks up to Maui so much, and Maui is of course a bit taken back, surprised. I mean, he did mention in the first movie he has fans and he's ready to sign, give you signatures, but I don't think he was ready for this excitement. He was just like him. He was strong, he was helpful, he worked hard for the team, and he was very determined to help them get where they needed to get to. This lady, let me tell you what, she was stressing me out. If you see my reaction, you know I was stressed. She was swinging the knives, swinging the axes. I was like, this woman is destroying everything. Where did she come from? Who is she? Who is she? But she did give us a good laugh, and she did get some pretty good moments. She was helpful. Sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes. She had good ideas and great plans, and they came together. Now here's where I'm a bit unsure of my thoughts when it comes to the villains of this movie. So there are two villains, unless you count the coconuts, but they did change very clearly. We have the Storm, of course, the major villain of this movie. But I found that it was very similar to the antagonist of the previous film. We have obviously the lava monster. It was very same vibes as that. I was a bit underwhelmed, if you like. You know, it was very similar vibes. It happened very quick. It was done with the moment. It was flash and it was gone. It seemed copy and pasted. Just changed the colours, really. It's a shame, really, because you have such high expectations for this movie. It was just a bit, underwhelming for me. Matangi. Matangi? Matangi? You know what I mean. The crazy lady. Is she a villain? What do you guys think? Do you think she's evil? I think she could be. It was not very clear. She seemed villainous when we first met her, of course, because she had Maui captured. But then she ended up giving this story that she's been trapped in this clan for all these years and that she's hoping for a chance of freedom again. And the only way she can do it is if Moana saves them from this storm. I think it's a bit suspicious. She flipped real quick. She just still had this villainous tone about her. I'm not really sure where I stand. And we never got a clear ending. We never saw her again. So I'm a bit on edge about it, really. I can't wait to see what happens with her in the third film. Let's be real, what's going to happen. That brings us to Maui. The icon, the myth, the legend, the real one. I'm very disappointed with his screen time. It took well over half the movie for us to actually see him. They kept us waiting for so long. We needed Moana and Maui together from the start. They know that's what we loved about the first film. That's all we needed, was them two. Screen time together, their conversations, their building of their friendship, but we didn't get it for ages. Very silly choice. Don't know whose idea that was, but that did let it down quite a bit for me. You know, their chemistry, their wit, their humour, it just worked so well together. And we only saw a couple of minutes, really. If you count it up, it's probably only a couple of minutes of dialogue, which is disappointing. What's happening? So apart from the villains being a bit dissatisfying and unimpressive, underwhelming, we had the graphics, which was overwhelming, beautiful, incredible. They were just sensational. Technology and animation has really upped since the first movie, because I only watched the first movie the first time very recently, so I was able to see that shift really strong and really clear, and I was blown away. It is sensational. Absolutely out of this world. The colour schemes, the creativity is just absolutely one-upped. And that's why I do appreciate the Storm villain, because it was just visually stunning. The twisters with a purple lightning, it was just so mind-blowing. Now let's compare movie 1 and movie 2. Plot-wise, I've got to be honest, very, very similar. There were lots of similarities between both. They started at the same place. The middle ground was very similar, and the end was identical. It's like they had the same plot, copied and pasted it, and did minor tweaks. They added some characters here and there, took characters out, left some questions to cause mystery. Not sure really. But all they did was add characters, essentially. We had the coconuts again, which obviously we love. It's a nice little cameo they had there. It was great to see them again, but it felt very similar pace-wise as well. We started off with Moana doing what she wanted to explore. Then we had a family moment where in the second movie, they were uplifting her and creating this platform for her. In the first one, they were a bit unsure, but her grandma believed in her, so it's very similar there. We learned a bit more about their heritage, their family tree. We learned a bit more about the origination of the path and the adventures they went on. The sister was a nice instalment, very appreciative of her. Then we had her setting sail and discovering new islands and trying to navigate this crazy storm that's going on. And then she bumps into Maui, very similar. She wasn't looking for him, but she just bumped into him. And then we had a little villain there, just like the crab we had in the first one. We had this woman, very similar. And then they escaped that. They got free. And then they faced the villain at the end. They got a setback. They tried again. They succeeded. The end. If you look at it like that, very black and white, it is underwhelming, to be honest. But I try and keep positive. I really enjoyed the movie. I really did. I had a great time. I looked past that. I wanted to enjoy it, so I enjoyed it. You know, you've got to go into these things expecting great things, and you will get great things. It can't go without mentioning the songs. In the first movie, top tier. It's going to be hard to top it. We know this going into it. It was a sensational soundtrack for movie one. Unbeatable, in my opinion. And then we came to the second one. I was a bit like, I'm not going to put high expectations on it because you'll only set yourself up for failure. I was pleasantly surprised. Whoever writes and composes these songs, let me know their name. I want to do more research. I want to learn more about their songs because they are very creative and a genius. I had two standout songs. Let's not be silly. The song Beyond. Top tier.
What lies beyond, under skies I've never seen, I go beyond.
Owly E was just sensational on that. Her vocal ability was mind-blowing. The way she just unleashed and let loose, it was music to the ears, literally. It had a great story in it. It had a great build. It really helped the story move along and the plot move along. It was a real important moment for the film. Another one that stand out for me was Get Lost.
Get lost, can't lose, and lose your way, the thrill of living dangerously.
Very Beyonce vibes, very poppy, which I love to be installed into this Disney movie. The vibes were immaculate along this song. The visuals, the colours, just perfect in my opinion. And her delivery was so creative and so characteristic. I loved it. It was very theatrical, my type of vibe. So I really enjoyed that one. And again, it had an important message that helped the story move along. So I have really enjoyed this movie. My love for it's grown even more. I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about it. I would love to know whether you're on the same side, whether you're on the fence, or it's a complete no. You didn't enjoy it. You thought it was a money grab. Probably was, but head over to my page and you can see my reactions to both movies. And if you'd like my full uncut reactions, they're up over on my Patreon. I would love to have you over there. It'd mean so very much to me.